6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a
In the next decade, there are plans to send people to Mars. It's going to cost a staggering amount of money, billions of dollars, and it will take 9 months to get there. And when you arrive, you need to wait 3 months before you return. This is because the orbits of Mars and Earth are sometimes close together and sometimes far apart. Would you be interested in going? Me? No, I'm staying put on Earth. I think I'll write about Mars instead.
What are the biggest challenges humans will face when traveling to Mars? Should we be spending so much money exploring Mars, or would it be better spending it on Earth? Why it is so important for us to colonize Mars. Whether you're writing to inform, writing to discuss, or writing to persuade, beginning with a strong introduction is crucial. Let's learn how to write one. The introduction can be broken down into 3 parts: the hook, background information, the purpose, which is also called the thesis statement. Let's examine each of these 3 parts in detail. We begin with the hook. This is the first sentence the reader will read and sets the tone for the whole piece. It will reveal whether the writing is formal or informal and must catch the reader's attention, sparking their curiosity. What bait can we use to hook the reader? Well, we could use a question. Would you want to travel to the next frontier of human exploration and be the first person to step foot on Mars? We could use an interesting statistic or fact. In 2012, NASA's Curiosity rover made its triumphant landing on Mars, marking the beginning of an era of robotic exploration on the Red Planet. Now it is the turn of us humans. We could recount a quick story. I travelled some long distances. For example, I once flew from London to Sydney, Australia. It took me almost 24 hours of flying. But let me tell you, reaching Mars is an entirely different ballgame altogether. We could tell a joke. Why did the astronaut go to Mars? Because he needed some space. And there is plenty of space between here and Mars. Or we could use a quote. Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon, once said, "Mars is there, waiting to be reached. But is it worth the billions it will cost? Or is that money better spent improving the life we have here on Earth?" Background information. It's important to make sure your readers really get what you've written about. If they don't understand the vocabulary, the context, or the history behind it all, they might end up feeling a little confused. This is why providing the reader with essential background information is so important. When deciding what information to provide, always put yourself in your reader's shoes. What might they not know about the topic that is key to their understanding? For example, when writing about Mars, it would be useful to know this. Mars, the 4th planet from the Sun, gets its nickname Red Planet because of its reddish colour. Its thin air is mostly made of carbon dioxide. On its surface, you'll find mountains, valleys, and icy caps at its poles. Scientists think Mars might have had water once, which could mean it had the potential for life. Mars is about half the size of Earth, so it has weaker gravity. If you weigh 100 kilograms on Earth, you'd only weigh about 38 kilograms on Mars. A year on Mars is 687 Earth days long. Lots of space missions, like flybys and rovers, have gone to Mars to learn more about it. Lastly, the introduction should finish with the purpose of the piece of writing. This is sometimes referred to as the thesis statement. This tells the reader what you're writing about and why it matters. Let's return to the 3 questions that we came up with at the start of this video. What would my thesis statement look like for each of them? What are the biggest challenges humans will face when traveling to Mars? Traveling to Mars is a thrilling idea, but it comes with some big hurdles. In this report, we'll explore the toughest challenges humans will need to overcome on their journey to the Red Planet. Should we be spending so much money exploring Mars? Or would it be better spending it on Earth? In this discussion, we'll weigh up the pros and cons of investing a lot of money in exploring Mars versus using those resources to address problems here on Earth. Why it is so important for us to colonize Mars. In this piece of writing, I'll convince you that colonizing Mars is crucial for our future as a species. Get ready to learn about the compelling reasons why establishing a presence on the Red Planet is so important. Let's put into practice what we've learnt. We'll leave Mars and head back to Earth to the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. I'm going to write an information report all about it. My title is The Mariana Trench, Exploring Earth's Final Frontier. Let me write an introduction to this. The hook. More is known about the surface of the Moon than about the bottom of the ocean. This striking statement by marine scientist Paul Snellgrove reveals a fascinating truth. While we've thoroughly explored the Moon's surface, our own oceans remain mostly uncharted. Background information. The Mariana Trench, located in the western Pacific Ocean near Guam, is Earth's deepest known point, plunging down nearly 11 kilometers. Down there, it's pitch black, and the pressure is so intense it could squish a submarine like a soda can. But despite this, life somehow manages to thrive in this extreme environment, showing us just how tough and adaptable nature can be. The purpose. In this report, you will learn the importance of exploring the Mariana Trench and other deep-sea areas. By diving into these uncharted waters, we can learn more about our planet's history, discover new species, and figure out how to protect these amazing underwater worlds. We have learnt that an introduction has 3 layers to it. It begins with the hook. Here, your aim is to write something that sparks your reader's attention. You might do this through a question, a statistical fact, a story, a joke, or a quote. Next comes the background information. Give your reader the information they need to understand what you are writing about. Think about the vocabulary, context, and history of the topic. Finally, explain the purpose of the report. What you aim to achieve with this piece of writing. And one more tip. Whilst the introduction comes first, it doesn't necessarily have to be written first. Some people find it easier to write the introduction when they have finished the report. So if you're struggling with it, leave it and come back to it at the end.